The method I've shown so far have covered most lining situations on a locomotive. There are one or two areas though where it's impossible to get the pen in to do the lining. Certainly on the fronts of tanks, the Brighton tank engines were all lined on the front of the tank, and you cannot get a pen adjacent to the boiler there because there's Westinghouse pumps or handrails or whatever in the way. Also, on the stainless tender here I've got the line that runs at the back, at the bottom of the tender here. It runs behind 3 lamp brackets and the vacuum pipe, and also jumps up and down on these brackets. Now, you couldn't do that with a pen and ruler very easily. I mean, it's not impossible, but you'd make a job big zero of it. So I'd done that in transfers. Just cut a transfer, which I made, I didn't buy, and plus placed it on each section. And okay, it's difficult to line them up straight, but achieved it in the end. So that's one situation. Very often on the backs of tenders, that bottom line is obscured by so much, so make a transfer. The sheet I used for it it's called Extra Decal, this one. This is available from 4-track models. Fox Transfers also sell blank paper, and it is literally a sheet of water slide paper with nothing on it apart from a layer of varnish. So the way to use that is to spray it with the body colour. For this particular one, it's the LMS Maroon. Then once that is dry, 24 hours, we rule on the lines that we need in the 2 colours. And having done that, and that's dried as well, we treat it as an ordinary water slide transfer. Just score each side, lift the top veneer of paper off with the paint, place it in position, slosh water over it, and then pull the backing paper off, and that's it pretty well. But it doesn't just finish at straight lines. We can do curves if we've got awkward splashes. On the Duchess, the centre splasher is obliterated by the lubricator in front of it. So you can make a transfer, to just slip in behind that. And also the fronts of the tanks I was talking about, this is the Brighton ochre livery. That's a complete tank front for a Stroudley engine. And you can get it right. You need to do 3 or 4 more than you need and pick the best 2. Now when you're making a transfer, you must put plenty of paint on, because the paint that you put on it is the only strength it has. When you lift it off, all you're lifting off is a layer of varnish and the paint. If the paint is too thin, it'll just break up. So really pile it on fairly thickly, and then draw on whatever you want. You can do crests, very awkward shapes. Tops of splashes are sometimes lined. So to bend around that, you could do a transfer. But certainly all boiler bands will be transfers. So if you're doing BR, LNER, Great Western, whatever, you make a transfer for the boiler band. And you score around it, wrap it around, feed it under the handrails, brush water onto it, and then you can pull the backing paper out and just slide the transfer into position.